What are you doing at the minute?
I'm actually...
But isn't that the question of that foot not coming further than that?
Young Edmond was about to have the most amazing adventure he'd ever dreamed of.
Ah, this is a mess. This is a mess. We've made a big mud mess is what we've done here. We're trying to shoot a picture, I think. It's going to be part of an animated film, but we have a live action section of it where this little family that lives out in the Midwest of Tennessee, they have a big rainstorm, floods their place out and makes this big mud pie that you see here, and eventually it covers up their house. And their little son, he knows that what he has to do to stop this flood is he has to go get the big rooster called Chanticleer and bring him home, and he'll crow, and that'll bring up the sun, and it'll dry up all this rain. So that's what all this mess is about.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Get him away from the lid.
All right, you guys. We've rested long enough. They're counting on us back at the farm.
Working with children, you have to have all the patience in the whole world. But on this picture, we had a little boy who was he was super to work with. And he had a very cooperative mom. And when we got on the set, of course, we just had a good time.
What if it grabs me? What would you do?
Well, if it grabs you, you know what I'll do is I'll get in there and I'll beat the owl up and I'll get you out of there.
But I'll still be hurt.
No, you won't. I promise he can't get you. My first introduction to going out onto the live action stage and directing the actors themselves. And I did it for the first time on this picture. I thought, well, this will be interesting. I wonder if I'll like this. Maybe I'll just leave animation and just go into the live action world and forget all about this graphics. Well, my first day on the stage, I came running back here and I said, no way. I am an animator through and through, and I love being on the board, and I love drawing where I can have complete control of what I do. It's just too much, I think, waiting around. The control isn't there, and if I don't like a performance, I have to say, well, let's do it again, and 50 people have to concentrate one more time. If I don't like a performance on the board here, all I simply do is get out my eraser and erase it and draw it one more time. So the difference for me is very, very large. I prefer to draw it.
Frank Stanislav.
Right, thank you.
Van Nuys, he owns a little... runs
He
about
always
the
got a van as well.
Glenn, can you get a little bit more jovial on that line? Just a little bit more up.
Not many people know this, but we always record the voices before we do the animation. And there's a very good reason. It gives the actors a chance to bring their expertise to the screen, to the character, and it also gives our animators a chance to hear something of the acting. Because we're so concerned with drawing many times that we say, you know, I don't know how to do anything but draw. I need somebody to tell me what a personality is like. And an actor has more expertise in that area. So we begin with the voices.
I picked him up out of the gutter, and now look at it.
Chanticleer was the name of the book, but Don didn't want to do it just like the old fairy tale. He wanted to give it a new twist, and we were thinking of Chanticleer being something different than just a rooster that raises the sun when he crows. So we knocked around this idea and came up with maybe this rooster could also be a great singer, and we were wondering who was one of the best singers to ever live, and that's when we came up with the persona of Elvis Presley.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pinky's Palace proudly presents The King.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Would you look at that?
Chanticleer?
Well, down into the low, I was so alone. I never had no money, I had no honey to call my own. That's why I'm treasure hunting, treasure hunting for my love. He's treasure hunting for his love. Well, I've been everywhere.
I think that animated films basically are musical in nature. So it's only a tiny step to say, let's put songs into the picture. All of the great Disney pictures that I've enjoyed over the years, all were filled with songs. Zippity-doo-dah, A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes, Hi Diddly-Dee, Whistle While You Work, you know, all these are great tunes. I mean, in Pinocchio, almost every tune became a hit song. So I think animation and hit songs go together. Therefore, I think when we started doing this picture, we said, how can we do a picture about a rooster who thinks he's Elvis Presley unless we get really involved in music? So that said, the only other question to answer was, how good is the music going to be? And we know it's going to be some really nice songs, because the old Elvis-style music was something that touched all of us. So it was a natural step to say, the picture's going to bounce visually, let's let it bounce musically. And what my desire is that as you sit in your seat, I want your foot to tap. And if your foot starts tapping while you're watching the picture, then I've got you.
What I'd like you to do is do that picking thing that you do, and then go on to do the cock-a-doo what a day.
Okay. Cock-a-doo what a day. The sun is shining brightly. Cock-a-doo what a day. Oh, hi, Edmond. I just stopped by to say hello and to thank you for helping me out back there.
And then Edmond goes, Chanticleer! And then you do the second part where you do the sun do shine.
Okay. The sun do shine. Hey, that was real brave of you standing up against the Duke like you did. I really appreciate it.
And then Patoo's going to pop in the window and go, hi, little buddy. And Edmond goes, Jeepers, it's good to see you. And then you're going to say, come on, you two.
Okay. Well, come on, you two. Well, come on, you two.
That's good.
Don heard a song off one of my albums, an old Johnny Mercer song called I Remember You, where I yodel in it. And that's what he wanted for the character, and that helped to get the part. Because these things are, I think it's really fun to do animation. That way it doesn't grow old, you know. The character is always the same. Like Mickey Mouse looks the same way he did 50 years ago, you know.